everybody. Happy Thursday again, the last Thursday in August 2021. Hope you're having a great time wherever you happen to be. Peter Greenberg here with our weekly global travel update. And what a week it's been for me, at least in terms of travel. Last week, we came to you from what I consider to be one of America's most underrated, Denver, where I boarded an amazing new train, at least in this country, the Rocky Mountaineer, that goes between the Rockies and the Red Rocks from Denver to Moab in Utah. Of course, the entrance to so many great American national parks. Got off that train on Monday, flew to Chicago, was in Chicago Tuesday, then was supposed to go to Los Angeles yesterday. And look, it happened to you, it's happened to me. American Airlines late Tuesday night at about 10 o'clock, canceled my 6 a.m. flight Wednesday morning. I thank United to come for the rescue. I was able to book a flight with them. Got to LA yesterday, took the red eye last night. We never stopped. And I'm now back in New York. So glad to see you. I'm in one piece and we are moving right ahead with our global travel update. Some housekeeping notes, of course. You can always email me with your questions. Send them in today. If I miss them today, you can email me to peter@petergreenberg.com and we will answer it online later. Our radio show, I told you last week, the radio show came from Tulsa. I told you it was coming from another city starting with T this week. It is. I didn't tell you where yet. I'll show you a photograph, though. Look at the photograph for a second. Anybody want to tell me where I'm going to be in 2 days from now? Starts with a T. See if anybody gets it. But in the meantime, back to our show today. Lots of things to talk about. Let's start with the vaccination news and what the private sector is doing when the public sector isn't. We talked about this a little bit last week. United Airlines telling their 67,000 employees that if they didn't get vaccinated by October 27th, they would lose their jobs. Then, earlier this week, the FDA approved Pfizer. When that happened, United Airlines upped the stakes and said, nope, we changed our mind. If you don't get vaccinated by September 27th, you're going to lose your job. Other airlines didn't do that. American, Southwest, and Delta said they're not going to do that. However, they're sort of doing it. Let me tell you what Delta's doing. If you're a Delta Airlines employee and you're not vaccinated by November 1st, Delta is going to charge you every month a $200 surcharge to cover your medical expenses because they're expecting you to be hospitalized with the virus. So there's one. And it's happening on the consumer level as well. We've talked about the battle lines being drawn in Florida between the cruise lines in the state of Florida and its governor. You know that the Norwegian Cruise Holdings sued the state of Florida, including their Surgeon General, claiming that that rule or that law that said any business that required a vaccination in order to perform their services would be fined $5,000 per incident. Couldn't very well do that on a cruise line. You'd be dealing with 7 figures or more in fines. So NCL sued the state of Florida. They got a U.S. court judge to do an injunction against Florida. So now, if you want to go on an NCL cruise, no jab, no cruise. And other cruise lines are now following suit. Royal Caribbean on their cruises from Florida is enforcing the same rule. Now, Carnival is on the fence. They're still doing sort of like vaccination optional cruises, but they're now going to do the economic squeeze as well. On many of their cruises, if you want to be on that cruise and you're not vaccinated, no problemo. However, you're going to be tested multiple times. It's a requirement on the ship before, during, and after. And guess what? The Carnival Cruise folks are going to charge you $150 per test. Let's do the math. More than you spent for the cruise in many cases. So hopefully that message is coming home. We're seeing many other cities doing a vaccination requirement in their private sector. Last week we talked about Seattle. You can't go to a restaurant in Seattle without them asking for proof of vaccination. We're seeing other cities follow suit. So we'll be covering that. And, this is sort of like, it reminds me of the days when you had, smoking sections on airplanes and they wanted to go to no smoking and everybody said, it'll never happen. People will refuse. Guess what? See anybody smoking on an airplane today? Do you remember? This is funny. There was an airline that started for about 18 seconds, an all smokers airline. Even the smokers wouldn't fly it. So they failed. Which reminds me, I want to do a little shout out in the most negative way to the Basilico Pasta e Vino restaurant in Huntington Beach, California, Surf City. Well, the guys who run that may have been in the surf a little too long. They're actually only allowing patrons in if they can show proof of not being vaccinated. You know what? Let's change the name of that restaurant to the Basilica Pasta vino stupido. Estupido. There's my Spanish coming back from high school. I mean, come on, guys. This is not funny. It's not political. It's pragmatic. It's a public health issue. Please get vaccinated. If you're a Delta Airlines employee, are you not going to get vaccinated now? Right? You want to spend, $2,400 a year as a surcharge? If you're a United Airlines employee, you want to lose your job? Come on, guys. And let's be honest, if you have a choice, I'm talking to every one of you out there, if you have a choice of going on a cruise line where only half the people are vaccinated, or flying on an airline where maybe 60% are vaccinated, versus a cruise line where everybody's vaccinated and an airline where everybody's vaccinated, which one are you going to choose? I mean, seriously. Now, 6 months from now, mark my words, you won't be able to go to the dry cleaners without showing proof of vaccination. And that, of course, includes the pizza place and the grocery store. It's just going to become a way of life, folks, with or without the variant and with or without a cure. It's what we're going to have to do. It's how we're going to adjust. And for those people who don't want to do it, the economic impact on you will make it almost impossible for you to have a normal life, enjoying the things that you want to enjoy. So I hope people will get real on that. By the way, this is crazy. Have you been to an airport lately? At one point, there was, all the retail stores were closed. Now they're open. But guess what? How much do you think a beer is at some airports? $28. Fries, $11. This isn't street pricing. This is gouging. And that's got to stop. And we vote with our wallets, right? It's a BYO world that they want to charge you $28 for a beer at an airport. First of all, I don't want them to serve beer at an airport because I don't want people fighting on planes. See, there's a sort of full circle thing going on here. One more thing. This is my humor part of the show. New Jersey has now named their rest stops along their highways after famous New Jersey citizens. There's a Whitney Houston rest stop. There's a Frank Sinatra rest stop. Okay, I get that. I'll go take a pee when they give me a Tony Soprano rest stop. I just thought I'd mention that. Now let's move on with some more stuff that's going on. This is the good news. I have good news. I talked about this last week. I said it was going to happen. Well, it's happening. We have a convergence now of the Delta variant, kids going back to school, people presumably going back to their places of work as we get into September. And traditionally, the third quarter in the airline world is not a very profitable quarter for them. Airfares tend to drop. When you have this convergence, all three things happening, and no business travel roaring back, the airfare prices have dropped even more. Yesterday, I priced out a ticket. And by the way, when I got the price, you better believe I bought it, from Dallas-Fort Worth to LaGuardia on September 13th. That's that Monday I've been talking about, right? We get through the middle of September and we start it on September 13th. Who wants to guess how much that ticket cost me? Booked it yesterday, bought it yesterday, from Dallas to LaGuardia. Who wants to guess? All right, I'll wait. Whatever guess you have is wrong. Trust me. I paid yesterday $49. Not $49 plus tax and surcharges, $49 on a one-way nonstop flight from Dallas to LaGuardia. And then when I checked the schedule for the whole day, every flight was $49. So if you are vaccinated, if you can play responsibly, if you can practice common sense, if you check with your doctor to make sure you don't have any pre-existing conditions that would negate this, buyer's market, folks, starting in the third quarter. And I've always said September is the magic month. At $49 a ticket, it's more than just magic. And you'll see that starting to happen across the board. All right, let's go up to some of your questions here. All right, hello from Japan. A Hawaii update. Yeah, let's talk about that, Patrick. The governor this week basically said, don't come. This echoes what the mayor of Maui said a couple of weeks ago when he asked the airlines to reduce their frequencies. They couldn't handle the numbers. Now it's more than just not handling the numbers of tourists. It's handling the numbers of COVID-19 cases. The ICU units are full. They just can't deal with it right now. Their infrastructure is being strained. It was strained already. We all talked about the $900 a day car rental rates, the $800 a night hotel room rates, and the lack of housekeeping thereof. And so bottom line is, do the smart thing, listen to the governor. Go in October and November, the 2 shoulder months before things get crazy for Christmas, and you'll be okay. Speaking of infrastructure, I let you know that I was in Chicago this week. I was there for a meeting for the American Society of Travel Advisors and to attend a dinner. Only there for one night. And I checked in. By the way, we shout out the heroes here and we shout out the goats. Now one for the goats. I check in. Remember, they're having a meeting. Isn't it great that meetings are coming back? And isn't it somewhat ironic that the first big meeting in Chicago is the American Society of Travel Advisors? Great. Sends a message. I get it. So I check into the convention hotel. Many of you stayed there if you've been in Chicago, the Hyatt Regency on Wacker. We know it. It's a big box hotel. It's a convention and meeting hotel. I get it. And as a convention and meeting hotel, they have to provide certain basic services, right? Wrong. And by the way, did they disclose this before I checked in? They did not. They just wanted the business. In fact, the only thing they disclosed before I checked in was an opportunity for me to upgrade my room to a higher category room. They just wanted to do the upsell. Here's what they didn't tell you. I checked in on on Monday night. And when I walked in, I said, hey, listen, can you press my suit? Oh, we don't provide that anymore. We have nobody to do that. Okay. What about housekeeping? We only have housekeeping once every 4 days. Now, how do they come up with that figure of once every 4 days? What do you think the average stay is in that hotel? It's 3. Bottom line is they're suffering like everybody else. They can't find the staff to do the jobs. But why don't they disclose that before you get there? You know why? They want the revenue. They're not being transparent, and for that, they get a negative shout out. For everybody else watching me today, you're going to make a hotel reservation before you ever go. I don't care if you make it online or through a travel agent, whatever you want to do, you better have a conversation with an executive from that hotel before you get there to come up with a mutually agreeable definition of terms as to what their definition of hospitality is. We're seeing hotels now charging $40 a night if you want housekeeping. We're seeing hotels charging you a surcharge for the lights in your room. We're going back to very bad pre-pandemic behavior. It's got to stop. You have to reach out to these hotels and basically say to them, what's your room rate? And you have no housekeeping, no cleaning and pressing, you have no restaurant service, and you want to charge me $9 for a bottle of water? Great. My roommate cut it in half or I'm not coming. Da-da. Right? Now, if they want to disclose that up front and let you know that they're sorry and they're going to reduce the rate because they can't provide the service, I'll give them that. It's very difficult to provide the service. But if you know you can't provide the service and you still charge the same rate and you don't disclose that you're not providing that service at the moment you take that rate, you got to hear from me. All right. So 2 thumbs down for the Hyatt Regency in Chicago. Sorry, guys, you blew it. All right, let's keep going. So the Hawaii update I gave you, Patrick. Debbie North says hello from Palm Beach County. All right. And Williamsburg, Virginia for Robin. Delray Beach for Leslie. Jumbo from Nairobi. Hey, Sonny. I'll be in that vicinity soon, by the way. Hello from Medellin, Colombia. Zach, I got to tell you, for those people who don't know, Medellin has been turned around. It's an amazing city now. And unbelievable restaurants, great neighborhoods. You got to go check it out. They got their act together. For those of you who watch Narcos, like I was addicted to it, no pun intended, I had to go check out Pablo Escobar. And people forget, he's still a hero down there. He died in 1993. I went to see his gravesite. There are people still putting flowers on it. Crazy stuff. All right. Here we go. Mike Lucan thinks I'm in Tuscany off the radio show this week. Incorrect, Mike, but nice guess. Nancy says I'm traveling to Armenia on October 2nd on Qatar. Will it be COVID and Armenia political okay to travel first time on Qatar? Well, as far as the airline is concerned, I love that airline. If you've not flown it yet, you should, especially if you're lucky enough to get in business class. I've done that a few times there. Wow. When was the last time you didn't want a flight to end? Does that sound like a crazy endorsement? Well, I have no relationship with them at all other than the fact that I've flown them. And I'm telling you, if you've been in business class on Qatar, you'll know what I mean. As to Georgia and Armenia, I'm assuming you've been vaccinated, you're going to wear a mask where you need to wear a mask, and you're going to act responsibly, and that your doctor told you can go. Then you have my answer. Go. Okay. Am I aware of issues with countries accepting a vaccination card that does not match the exact name on your passport? I haven't, but then again, I'm amazed they're even accepting the vaccination card considering the amount of fraud that's going on. Right now, remember, there's still no universally acceptable document. There's no vaccine passport that I know of that's universally acceptable, readable, verifiable, trustable, and not forgeable. So if you happen to have a vaccination card that doesn't match the exact name on your passport, attach a letter to it from your doctor, something of authority to anybody who's an overzealous immigration officer or health officer to understand that maybe there's a letter off or they added a middle name when you didn't have one. Just to do that to protect yourself. I do that with friends of mine who have interesting last names on their passport that are either sometimes misspelled or hyphenated. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm looking down here. 90 degrees in Las Vegas, April reports. Hi from Miami from Ben. Don Cowan, hello from Chicago. Haven't booked yet, but thoughts of a trip to Hawaii at the end of September. No, go the end of October. There's still a bit of a mess there right now. And look, I'm not saying you can't go and enjoy the beach, but if you're looking for goods and services, the restaurants are down at 25% capacity. You won't get a reservation. And if you do, you'll be paying through the nose. And we've already discussed the rental car madness there. And the hotel rates are out of control. Take a deep breath. Go in October. All right. Hello from Alabama. Hello, Katrina. Oh, yeah. All right. Lines at Hobby in Fort Lauderdale and the ticket counter to the gates. Crazy. Yeah, summer's over. I got it. Hello from Jan in Chicago. Everybody now they're coming in and guessing the fare I paid. 75, 65, 99, 100. Nobody got it. Somebody said 0. Well, Ben, not exactly. All right. All right. Here we go. Is the antigen test available at the Frankfurt airport acceptable for return to the U.S. or must it be a PRC? No, antigen is rapid test antigens are okay to come back to the United States. You just got to get that negative result within 72 hours of your return to the U.S. Okay, that's going to be that. Hey, let me go back here a second because I've got more questions to answer for you guys. Oh, hello from Japan, from Jew. There we go. Now, here's the bottom line on airfares, just so you know. Because the airlines have gotten rid of their draconian ticket change fees, and they've now even made those draconian basic economy tickets that they said were totally non-refundable now more flexible, you have every confidence in the world to roll the dice with comfort and book whatever flights you want through the end of the year, as long as they're on a U.S. carrier. And in fact, if you have to cancel, then you're not going to lose your money. Okay, that's important because if you do it on a foreign carrier, you know what? They have not behaved well. Many of them continue not to behave well in terms of giving you refunds, especially when they cancel the flight. That's nuts. So please remember that. And also know that that $49 airfare example I gave you will be added to as we get closer and closer to September 13th. And, you're going to see it on international routes and also domestic routes. And interestingly enough, in many cases, and this almost is counterintuitive, it may be better for you to buy one-way tickets. And the reason for that is that one-way ticket from Dallas to LaGuardia that I got yesterday, a week ago, was $120. As a round trip, it was $300. So now I went and looked at the round trip yesterday. It was $177, but I didn't need the round trip. I just needed the one way. It's at $49. So if you do 49 times 2, you're at 98, a whole lot less than 177. Crazy, right? But that's happening. In any case, I'm looking here. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. I'm going through all these questions here. Ted Dudley from Naples, Florida. Becky says, I'm looking at a ticket from St. Louis to Florence, Italy on KLM around Thanksgiving for $550, which is a good price. You think prices will go down more? Should I wait or book now? If you can go from St. Louis to Florence for $550, book it now. There's only one concern I have, and I've seen it happen a lot on a lot of the KLM routes. I'm just telling you, they're canceling a lot of their flights. So if you're going around Thanksgiving, that means you're going around the end of the month, End of the month is a real troublesome time for airlines because they can't field a lot of crews that have already flown their legal limits by the third week of every month. So be careful about that. You're also booking on a foreign carrier. But if you want to roll the dice, a $550 fare to Florence on KLM, obviously with a stop in Amsterdam, is a pretty good deal. Okay. Robin says she's not listening. Okay, Robin's going to go to Hawaii at the end of October. Fingers, toes, and eyes crossed. It's for your 30th anniversary. Well, end of October, I think you're going to be okay, Robin. Just don't go before the 15th. It's a mess over there right now. Jan says, surprised by the Hyatt. I'm not. I checked into the Hyatt in Minneapolis once, and they had waters there for $9 each. I could buy 2 cases of water for $18, right? Come on. And it's not fair. And we're smart. We shop. We know these things. Look, I want to be clear about something. I do not deny any hotel or any business whatsoever the opportunity to make a profit. But gouging is another story. A $28 beer in an airport, how desperate are you? How desperate are they? Let them be desperate. Don't you be desperate. Okay. We're living in a BYO world, except when it comes to alcohol. Ben says Canadians can fly to the U.S., but not drive through the border. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. Welcome to government. Okay. Yvette is in Brooklyn. Okay. Gina says, hello from the Monterey Peninsula. Housekeeping optional at Deer Haven Inn, Pacific Grove. No extra charge. Well, if it's no extra charge and it's optional, then everybody should option for it. There's something completely misconnecting here, right? You either have it or you don't. But don't charge me for it unless you lower the room rate and then give me the option. But don't give me the regular room rate, which we all assume includes housekeeping, and then want to ka-ching over that. That's where you're having a problem. Okay. Sonny said, Joseph says, booking your Masai Mara safari to Kenya. Okay. There you go. Bonjour from Ventura. Hello, Lindy. Hello from Lake Worth, Florida. Just looked at hotel prices in Rome for June of 2022, and they're astronomical. Of course they are. You never book that far ahead in the summer. Okay. Look, here's the deal. Airlines and hotels will put anything they want on the website to see if it sticks, right? But they look at year over year, they look at projections, they look at demand. You would never want to book in a strong season fare now for next June unless you knew that it was always going to get higher by then. But astronomical room rates in Rome is not a surprise in June. It's just not. So what I would do is take a look outside of Rome. Ever hear of a place called Fuji? Amazing place. And I'm just going to mention the name Rossano Brazzi. Now do your homework on Fuji and you'll know what I mean. And it's just outside of Rome. Might be a whole lot cheaper. Hey, cheers from Bhutan. Okay. How many people have been to Bhutan? How many people have landed at that airport? Does the word trying to land in a salad bowl ring a bell? You don't land like this. You land like this. And every pilot who lands there, my hat is off to them. Unbelievable. Bill Nasikas. Hey, the legendary Bill Nasikas. Don't forget Arizona. I'm not. All right. Kelly says, is Allianz Insurance still covering travel to level 4 countries? Their epidemic coverage now states this: you must not have traveled against the orders or advice of any government or other public authority at any location to, from, or through which you are traveling on your trip. You've just answered your question. Because according to the insurance company, listen to what they said. A travel advisory, which says do not travel, that level 4, which by the way now applies to about 80% of the globe from the U.S. State Department, that considers on their insurance language advice. Because it's not a rule, it's not a regulation, it's not a law. They're telling you you can't, they're not telling you you can't go or that you'll be punished if you do go. But if you start reading the policy language of insurance companies like Allianz, you're going to get angry because you're going to find out all the things you're not covered for. At the end of the day, about the only thing they cover you for is if your middle name is Murray, you have a snowmobile and you trip. So if you want to buy travel insurance, and I understand why you'd want to do it, and we're talking about trip cancellation and interruption insurance, go to a travel agent, go to a travel advisor. They can sell it to you and they can walk you through the hieroglyphics of the policy language. Otherwise, you are literally flying blind, and you're going to hit a wall. And you're going to spend money needlessly because you're buying stuff that's essentially worthless. I'm waiting for the insurance companies to come to their senses and realize that you can give me a higher premium but still cover me, as opposed to trying to get my attention with a lower rate of a policy that's totally worthless. We're not stupid. But I'm telling you right now, based on what I know, and by the way, if there's an insurance company out there that wants to disabuse me of this notion, you know where to find me. I challenge anybody to go online and buy their insurance when they do their reservation for the airline, because as you know, you can't complete a transaction online unless you opt in or opt out of the insurance. You're sort of stuck, and you want to do the right thing, so you say, okay, I'll do it for whatever it costs, and then you find out you bought bupkis. That's an insurance term, by the way. It's on page 85 of their policy. So I'm waiting for an insurance company to realize you have a wonderful market out there that's hungry for transparency and reality. And I'll pay double the insurance premiums if you actually cover me. All right? So there you go. Kelly, I'm sorry you answered your own question there. All right, I'm coming back here. I'm going back up. We have more people to talk to here. Hold on a second. Oh, wait, a lot of people here. Now everything's coming in. Okay. Okay. Florian wants to know, what are my thoughts on the EU's possible new restrictions for U.S. citizens? My understanding is they're not going to close those countries. They're just going to institute another testing regime when you land. I can live with that. Okay. Brian wants to know, what's the deal with the Bahamas requiring 100% of cruise passengers over 12 being vaccinated, or docking's not allowed? Brian, it's happening. The Bahamas are islands. They don't want to be invaded by unvaccinated people. Da-da. You're going to see that happening everywhere, right? So get vaccinated. That's the deal. And the minute the vaccine becomes available for kids under the age of 12, that'll be the deal with them too. Linda says, we bought first class in February for the end of October on American Airlines. Think we can book cheaper. They've changed our flight already once. Well, here's the interesting game you can play. Since there are no ticket change fees involved, go online separately. Don't cancel anything yet. Go online separately and price out your first class flight in February. Excuse me, not February, I mean October. Price out your first class flight in October. And if it's less, buy it, then cancel the one you booked, and that becomes a credit you can use for something else. See, it just keeps revolving because there have been no change fees to wipe out the cost of your ticket. That's how you play the game. April just answered the question that I asked. You're right, April. You can do that. All right. Captain Jonathan Atkin, my good buddy, great photographer, and a Coast Guard master, by the way, who says Northbrook, Illinois Renaissance Hotel, which is a Hilton. No, it's not. Renaissance is a Marriott. Sorry, Jonathan. Check again. Has no restaurant or food service for Labor Day weekend at all. Not surprised. Okay. Hello from Houston for Janet. Robin. Hello, Robin. Are you in Michigan today? Let me know. Okay. Zygmunt says, I have reservations for Honolulu in mid-November through Thanksgiving. Go or no go? Go. Carol Brewer's in New York. Crush Christopher always says hi from Uganda. Bernice says hi, but I don't know where you are, Bernice. Lisa says hi from Syracuse. Okay, Amtrak from Ventura to San Diego. Why not? I love Amtrak, right? And it's a great route, by the way, especially when you get south of Union Station. You're hugging the whole coast. It's great. Okay. Lotog agrees with me about the airport at Paro in Bhutan. Yep, it's amazing. Okay. Nino wants to know, are there travel agents in Los Angeles? Of course there are. Anybody who thought travel agents were dead is delusional. They're back bigger than ever. In fact, they proved their worth during the pandemic. They became advocates for clients like you and me. They got people refunds. They got people rebooked. They got no revenue in the process. They didn't get bailed out by the government like the airlines did. And they're still there better than ever. In fact, they're doing better than ever because people finally realized, you know what? I can have a conversation with somebody and they understand me and they're going to help me. Good luck with booking online and then having something going wrong during the pandemic, you couldn't even get Ghostbusters on the phone. Evelyn says, greetings from Denver. Greetings to you, Evelyn. I was just there, as you know, last week. Bernice says, for a 2022 vacation in Tanzania, I would advise for the flight bookings at the earliest. We're seeing massive inquiries for tourists. You bet there are. Look, everybody wants to go to Tanzania. Why? You can breathe. Wide open spaces, the Great Migration, the crater, the Serengeti, Mount Kilimanjaro. Not to mention my favorite name for an island ever, Zanzibar. It almost sounds like that Bob Hope, Bing Crosby movie they never made. They should have. Anyway, there's a reason why people are going there. The same reason why they're going to Kenya. They want, what a great time to get out in the savannah. So do it soon. Okay, Kelly now agrees with me about the coverage provisions on that Allianz policy. Okay, Gina says, buy cancel for any reason insurance. Really, Gina? You know, they've changed that too. Let me give you some comparisons. In the old days, that was about 3 months ago, if you bought a cancel for any reason insurance policy, it was a very expensive premium. And should you actually cancel for any reason, guess what? You only got back 75% of your original investment. So that's a big chunk of money that's not coming back to you. Plus, you paid a bigger premium. I mean, it was better than nothing. Want to check out what the policy now says for cancel for any reason? You only get back half. Now you have to really weigh the investment here. Okay. Bruce Siegel says bupkis is not an insurance term. It rather comes from Joey on the corner. Yeah, but Joey's now selling insurance, Bruce. So either way, it's bupkis. By the way, if the insurance companies were honest, they'd rename their policies. It's the Bupkis Insurance Company. You're insuring bupkis. Okay, we're done with that. All right. Jonathan Atkin. See, I was right. He says it was a Marriott, and I was right. Okay. Let's keep going here. Sorry about this. I'm scrolling all over the place. Give me a second here. Thoughts about driving to Canada from New York via Maine. We have to figure out the border situation there. Right now, I know you can fly there. They're a little dicey on the car business, but by next month, I think everybody can go. Okay. Can I recommend some good travel agents in Los Angeles? I'm not going to do that, but I guarantee you, Ninon, you have a lot of friends who use them. But keep in mind, we live in a world of specialization, right? I have about 6 travel agents that I use. Why? One specializes in cruise. One specializes in safaris. One specializes in bicycle tours. One specializes in a particular destination, like Africa or South America. And, you don't go see a podiatrist because because your arm hurts you. It's the same reason. So get a few of those, use them, have conversations. The art of conversation that we've so terribly lost, it needs to come back. Start that out with a travel agent. Okay. Hello from Long Island. Okay. And you're right, Pauline. They didn't bail you out. Nino says, Delta was good this summer. I could change my flight from Europe without penalty. I did it. Yeah, don't count on that now. But at least they did it this summer. Israel in January, great month of the year to be in Israel. Great month to be in the Middle East anyway. Why not? All right. Hold on a second. I'm still scrolling. A lot of people coming in here. Okay. Any Grand Egyptian Museum opening information? The last that I heard is either October or November. They keep sliding the date, but I'll be talking to the Minister of Tourism in Egypt early next week. I'll get you an answer, and I'll ask my assistant Anthony to remind me of that. So I'll give you that answer next week when we meet again. Okay, here we go. Hold on a second. Okay. Should we cancel? Sharon wants to know, should we cancel a Hawaii trip for the end of November? No. Let it stabilize. It will be stabilized, my guess, by October 15th. I would say hold on to it. Jerry says, I'm Medicare age. Should I buy medical insurance for travel to Europe? I got news for you, Jerry. It has nothing to do with age. It has to do with your coverage. Whose health coverage covers them outside the United States? Nobody. So if you're going to go overseas, get a supplemental insurance policy, including medical evacuation and repatriation. What should we call it? Travel Guard does it. MedJet Assist does it. But read the fine print. You want an insurance policy that will pay to stabilize you medically wherever you are. Consult with your own physician who knows your medical records better than your own doctor. and then if necessary, fly you back on their medically equipped jet to the doctor and medical facility of your choice. Make sure that's in the language. Not every policy has it in that language. Other policy says they'll fly you to the medical facility and doctor of their choice. You already know where we're going with that one. You don't want to go there. Okay? The bad HMO in Botswana, I don't think so. Okay? With all due respect to Botswana. Okay. Hold on a second. Pat Bunyan wants to say, what good is cancel for any reason insurance if it only covers non-refundable expenses when flights and many other expenses are now refundable? There you go. Here's the problem. Cancel for any reason insurance has another translation in my book. It's deny for any reason. Remember what I told you about the balance of the investment there. Yes, April, I will check about the Egyptian Museum. We're supposed to travel to New Orleans middle of October. We are leery of traveling there due to surge in COVID cases. Your thoughts? Yeah, I would have no problem. I'm speaking for myself now. Going to New Orleans, I've been vaccinated. I wear the mask. I'm not going to be like crowded in 6 inches away from everybody else on Bourbon Street with my Go Cup. I'm going to act responsibly. And you can do that. In fact, if you base in New Orleans, then spread out. Take some day trips. Go to the plantation homes. Get out to Baton Rouge. I mean, go across the bridge and to Lafayette, right? I mean, there's all sorts of places you can go where you're not going to be crowded in. And remember, New Orleans right now, those restaurants, and many of them, you can't go there without proof of vaccination. Exactly what I was saying earlier. So have fun and do it. Okay. Where are we now? Hold on a second. Well, Robin, thank you for your nice comment. Geraldine wants to know, is Vegas still a safe place to go this September? Gets back down to common sense. You don't necessarily have to be sitting 9 people to a blackjack table. Figure it out. Once again, look at Las Vegas as a hub. Get out to the Red Rocks. Get out to the Dam. Do the Grand Canyon. You don't necessarily have to be on the Strip, doubling down on tens, which you should never do. Anybody who knows that not to do that. Okay, hold on a second. Sharon wants to know, will hospitals be able to help us in Hawaii if something happens during our vacation? My general answer would be, yes, they will, but not now. That's what the governor is saying. They're completely taxed right now. They've got to get their beds out there because they're getting inundated with locals, most of whom, if not all of whom, were not vaccinated. Does that ring a bell here? If you take a look at Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, where they're overflowing at the hospitals, 95% of those cases of COVID-19 are people who did not get vaccinated. I'm a fireman, as you know, in New York, and there are a number of fire departments now in the country that have a new rule that if you go off the beaten path, if you disobey the signs and you get lost in the forest, or you're hanging on a cliff and we got to come rescue you because you went off road, we'll rescue you, but you're getting a bill. Think about this. If you're not vaccinated and then you get sick, who's paying that? Why do you think Delta is charging their own employees a $200 a month surcharge in November for the ones who are not vaccinated? Because their own chairman, Ed Bastian, says it's costing Delta, of their unvaccinated employees who've been hospitalized, between $40,000 and $50,000. They're sick of it. They don't want to pay it. I don't blame them. Look, if there's a problem, that's one thing. If there's a problem with a solution and you consciously choose not to have the solution, there are consequences. I'm not making a political statement, okay? Just like I would not make a political statement for somebody who went off-road in the Rockies and had to be rescued because he was stupid. There's a consequence for being stupid. Okay? Sorry. Okay. Any news about when the U.S. may open up to Schengen area citizens? Yeah, it's back to the FDA. The minute the FDA recognizes AstraZeneca and the Sino vaccine, you'll see the United States do reciprocity. Until that happens, it's not about Schengen, it's about anybody. Okay, Alan saying flying business with Qatar in October. Great. Let me know how you like it. I love it. Okay, I'm going to scroll. We're scrolling here. Sorry. Losing a few people here. Hi from California, historic Route 66. There we go. I was on Route 66 last week, as you know, in where? Tulsa. Do I think the country will be on lockdown again? No, I don't. Because you got to get down to a definition of what the word lockdown means, right? Lockdown may mean that restaurants are cut to 25% capacity, or they're closed in the evening. They can only do takeout or delivery, things like that. But if you're thinking that the highway patrol in every state is going to be at the border and they're erecting barbed wire fence, no. Okay. Yeah, Hoover Dam is a little bit empty. Lake Mead is a little bit disturbing right now. Okay, hold on a second. Tim says, sadly, you can't fix stupid. Yes, but don't insure stupid either. Okay, let's go back up here and see who I missed. Of course. Oh, you know what we're going to do right now? Let's do the photo of the week. Let's go to that. Now, before I tell you, can we put that on the screen here? It's coming. There it is. All right, guys. Where is this picture taken? One of my favorite cities in the world. And no, that's not the Golden Gate Bridge. Anybody want to guess? I'll be there next month, as a matter of fact. One of the most affordable countries in the world right now. Some of the best food, the best fish, some of the best history. An easy flight from the U.S. Anybody want to tell me? All right, I'll tell you. It's Lisbon. That's the bridge in Lisbon, taken by Ross Rothmeyer. And he spectacular sunset cruise on her birthday in Lisbon. And of course, pastel de natas. We know those. What, you want to gain some weight? Try those. The pastries, woo! And there it is, the Ponte 25 de Abril. That's the bridge in Lisbon. Hey, great photo, perfect lighting, and thanks to Ross. If you got a great photo of the week you want to send in as a submission, please do so. Peter@petergreenberg.com. And if we like it, we post it. And great time to go to Portugal right now as well. Some housekeeping notes. Of course, you can always reach me on email, Peter@petergreenberg.com. Our website, what an imaginative name, petergreenberg.com. It's free to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter @PeterSGreenberg, Instagram @PeterGreenberg. And, of course, this Saturday, Ion Travel, coming to you from a location which name starts with T. And none of you got it. Actually, I take that back. One of you got it, but I'm not going to tell you. That's just kind of mood I'm in. However, if more of you get it, I'll tell you. If you don't get it, that's fine. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Check your local listings. If you can't find a station where you are, not a problem. Go right to that website, petergreenberg.com. Hit the radio icon. We stream it live. So we'll see you Saturday there. Let me check for a few more. Okay. In Tanzania, you will need to take a rapid test at a cost of $65. That's if you haven't been tested. And on departure, there's your PCR test at a cost of $110. However, that's if you don't have any other affiliation with a hotel or a safari operator. In many cases, they will provide that for you. Look, the bottom line is all the travel providers don't want to give you an excuse not to go there. They want to make it easier for you to realize that you can go there and you can come back. This is negotiable. Whether you're going to Tanzania or, Turkmenistan, call ahead and say, as part of my deal, as part of the rate I'm paying, not counting the no housekeeping or the $9 bottles of water, will you provide free testing? You might be surprised at the answer you get. All right. A few more little questions here before we wrap it up for today. Let me scroll down and find them. Colleen Casey thinks I'm coming from Tanzania this Saturday. You're wrong, but it does start with a T. Kim Luck is in Spain. And best time to visit Lisbon, May and September. I hope that's helpful, Elizabeth. And Bernice says Zanzibar. Well, Bernice, Zanzibar doesn't start with a T. Okay. Chris says, Peter, you're omitting all the mainstream channels that we still don't know what the mid to long-term effects of the vaccines could be. We should not push for 100% of the people to be vaccinated just in case people's fear of long-term damage to the immune system turns out to be real. I hear you, but I'm going to listen to my doctor. I'm going to listen to the FDA. I'm going to listen to the scientists. I'll take my guidance from them. When I was 6 years old, guess what? What was the disease ravaging America? It was polio. And I'll make an admission here. I got it. And my parents got me take an unknown vaccine that was developed by a man named Jonas Salk. Here I am. So, and my father was a doctor, by the way. So I hear you, Chris, but I have to disagree. For the moment, I have to roll the dice. And it's not just economics saying you can't go someplace unless you have a vaccine. It's respect for your fellow travelers and respect that you have for yourself. Okay. I'm going back one more time. Okay. Lorraine, you think I bypassed you? You're right, because you got it right. I'm still not going to tell anybody else. Anyway, guys, great to talk to everybody today. Again, email me if I missed you, peter@petergreenberg.com. Go on the website, petergreenberg.com. Send us your favorite photo opportunity for the photo of the week. And I will see you 2 days from now. Talk about being on a plane every other day. I will see you 2 days from now from that location that you saw the picture from that starts with a T. Have a great week, everybody. Watch the airfares to come down. Seize the moment. And I'll see you next week.